Well, let's talk some World Cup qualifiers, specifically in Africa. Some big games coming up on ESPN Plus. As you can see, Nigeria against Gabon and Cameroon against Congo. Ooh, Thursday on ESPN Plus. Now, this is the graphic just to tell you what's going on right now. The winner of both those games will meet on Sunday in a winner-takes-all game. It's a lot to play for on Sunday, and then the winner of that game goes into a 6-team interconfederation playoff where 2 teams will ultimately go through. I know Ale Moreno looked away because it could have been Venezuela that was here, but unfortunately for Ale, it was Bolivia that qualified instead from CONMEBOL, and New Caledonia. Asia will get another team in there, Africa gets one, and then 2 from CONCACAF. All right, look who's with us. Colin Udoh is joining us. Colin, it is always a good time and an exciting time when we get to talk about African World Cup qualifiers, especially about Nigeria. So let's start off there. Nigeria versus Gabon. What do we need to know about this one? What are you expecting? How nervous are you?
Well, I mean, good I was until things kind of got out of hand yesterday. The Super Eagles, unfortunately, went on strike they boycotted training to protest the non-payment of the allowances and bonuses from previous games, and then had long meetings into the night with the federation officials and sports ministry, and then they finally came to an agreement early this morning and then resumed training. So it's a disruption to their training and preparation for the game against Gabon. And also it puts an additional layer of pressure on them because there are a lot of Nigerians back home who are saying that the timing of this was wrong and they should have done it at a different time and focused on the preparations instead. So there are many people who remain confident that the Super Eagles can make it. And you know what? I don't disagree with them. We've had many instances where the Super Eagles have had disruptions to their training, and then they've come out and done well. I mean, you look at the last game they played against the Republic. They were stopped at the airport for almost half the day and missed an entire training session. And then they came back and they kind of clobbered Benin Republic. So hopefully this will give them the additional motivation to go out there and win the game.
I was going to say, it's just, it's nothing new having issues there, Colin. I know you guys are able to handle it. What's going to be key for Nigeria to win this game, do you think?
I think it's going to be determination. Look, when you look at it in terms of talent, man for man, player for player, you've got to say that Nigeria are far and away the better team against Gabon. So what is going to come down to is who wants it most. How much hustle do they have in them? And how much they really want to get to this World Cup. And we saw it when they played the other games. They were just lax at times. They let points get away from them. So now, playing against Gabon, what's going to be key for them is making sure that they show not just Gabon, but everybody else that they want this more than anything else.
All right, well, if we had a look at the odds, I think Nigeria are definitely favorites for this one, although they have had some struggles, a lot more struggles than we have expected in recent times. But let's get some predictions from you, gentlemen. Of course, Colin, I'm going to start with you. Give me a scoreline.
I'll go with Nigeria winning that with a slim 2-1 margin.
All right. Jules, what about you?
I think we should just say that it's obviously those games are on one leg. Both games are in Morocco, and so will be the final of these mini playoffs, if you want, call it what you want. So on neutral ground, Gabon, like Congo in the other semi-final against Cameroon. Nigeria-Cameroon is the final that I think we should all be anticipated. But both Gabon and Congo had very good qualifiers, just missing out by 1 point and 2 behind Ivory Coast and Senegal. So both teams are actually in really good form when you think about it. I agree with Colin. I think Nigeria in that semi-final should prevail really. And again, I think Cameroon should beat Congo in the other one.
Ale, what about you?
In all honesty, and Colin knows this better than anybody else, it feels like in every important moment whenever the Super Eagles have some sort of qualification big game or whatever the circumstances are leading up to a big match, there's always some sort of issue going on with this team and this federation and these players and the lack of organization and the logistical issues and then the meeting after the meeting after the meeting after the meeting. But apparently, this is where they thrive.
Yes.
In chaos, they thrive. And it doesn't get more chaotic than having to have meetings with the federation ahead of a huge match. So in chaos, they thrive. If we go with that theory, then Nigeria advance somehow.
Look at Colin. He's looking a lot more confident these days.
Well, he's looking nice. I'm liking
he's looking nice.
I'm liking the outfits.
Colin definitely best dressed today.
Yeah, man. You can have it. I can give it to you.
Oh, please do. Send it to us. We're going to send you the address. I think Alec could pull it off.
I'll tell you what.
But someone who's pulling off some brilliant stuff recently, Colin, is Victor Osimhen. I mean, how good has he been for Galatasaray? It's wild looking at the stats, though. 6 goals in the Champions League in 3 games. And I mean this respectfully and with all due respect to the Turkish league. But when we look at him in this form, we're wondering, what on earth is he doing there?
It's not his fault, to be honest. We've always known that Osimhen is a quality striker. He's shown it during his time at Wolfsburg in Germany. He's shown it with Napoli in Italy, and now he's doing the same thing in Turkey, and he's also doing the same thing with Nigeria. I mean, just to show you his quality, Rashidi Yekini's record of 37 goals for Nigeria has stood for almost 30 years. And we've had great strikers come and go, Amokachi, Siasia, Yakubu, Obafe Martins, but no one has come close to even trying to assist that record until Victor Osimhen. And he's still got a ways to go. And he's just about, maybe 9-10 goals behind Rashidi Yekini. At the rate he's going, Osimhen will probably end up being Nigeria's record goal scorer in the next 2 or 3 years. That's how good he is. So I think the tragedy really is not the fact that Osimhen is doing this in Turkey. It is that European clubs, at least not top European clubs, did not see fit to snatch him up when he was available. Whatever the reasons are for those, whatever they are thinking about that, what they cannot deny is that he's a proven goal scorer who's done it in 2 of the top 5 leagues in Europe, and he's doing it in Turkey, who are they're nothing to shake wave a finger at. They're also a good league in Europe. So I think that tragedy it falls to European clubs. They should have done a better job of tracking Osimhen and getting him into play for them.
Yeah, Jules, as Colin said, it feels like a bit of a tragedy that no big European club kind of has him right now, especially in the form that he's in. Why is that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think a lot of clubs looked at it. He's on a lot of money at Galatasaray. He maybe at times suffered maybe a little bit of some of the reputation and things that happened in Napoli between him and the club and that kind of relationship. But even that, at 26 years old, he was maybe a bit young before and surely has learned from those kind of mistakes or issues that he had to deal with as well with the clubs that he was at before. So it's a bit hard to understand why United went for Sesko and not Osimhen, or Arsenal, or all those big clubs who signed a number 9 striker, who were looking for a number 9 striker, and just didn't really go that much further for Victor Osimhen. And Galatasaray were very happy that they were the only ones really being able to sign him, and they're very happy that he stayed there because, as we said, he's the top goal scorer in the Champions League, for example, ahead of Mbappe and Kane and Haaland and anybody else. So they're very happy. I would think that this is the last season that he's in Turkey, and then eventually next summer, especially if he has a very good World Cup, if Nigeria qualify, that there should be a bigger club coming for him.
All I know is that when they needed him to score big goals, Nigeria, last time around against Benin, hat-trick. So I don't know where he's playing, where he's not playing, whether he's here or he's there. He's a goal scorer.
Yeah.
And they needed him to have a big game, and he did that. What else can you ask for from the guy? I do not know. I think it's going to be critical for Nigeria that he continues to perform at this level, because this team, again, in chaos they may thrive, but a lot like Colin, I pick Nigeria, but it feels like it's going to be stressful for this team to get all the way to the World Cup.
It's a roller coaster, Colin. It's a roller coaster. But let's look at the next game as well, Colin. Cameroon against Congo. How do you see this one going?
It's a bit tough. I think it'd be hard bet against Cameroon. They struggled a little bit during the course of these qualifiers, especially when they were kind of like eliminated by their nemesis in Cape Verde. And then there are reports coming out from Congo DR that the players have been promised $1 million each to beat Cameroon, but the federation came out to deny that. But I mean, having said that, I think that irrespective of what went on during the qualifiers, when push comes to shove, you've got to favor Cameroon to get past. And like Alice said, there is no better dream final than having Nigeria-Cameroon in these World Cup playoffs, which leads me to a very good point. As far as I've looked at the qualifying team for the Intercontinental Tournament, and the African qualifiers seem to be the most difficult so far. So any team that gets out of this, especially Nigeria-Cameroon, that gets out of this, would find it maybe just a little bit easier when they go to that Intercontinental qualifier, especially Nigeria, because then they would be the top-ranked team amongst all the teams that go there, which means that they would only have to play one game. They'll be seeded and get to play only one game to get to the World Cup final. So Cameroon and Congo, I'll lean on the side of Cameroon, and I'm looking forward to that Nigeria-Cameroon final.
Oh, we are looking forward to it indeed.
Colin just can't help himself.
Nigeria, I know.
Nigeria hasn't even gotten past Gabon, and he's already talking about the intercontinental playoff.
We have to have Nigeria.
Well, you don't have to.
You know where I feel. You know how I feel about their World Cup jerseys always.
Well, I know that this is how you make
You know
your
what?
picks,
If
but
Nigeria
that's not.
qualify,
That's not.
I'll get you a Nigeria World Cup jersey.
Wait.
Oh,
Is that for
thank you,
Alexis?
Colin.
Not you,
Just
Alexis.
Alexis?
Yeah.
Just Alexis.
Just me.
Oh, I see.
Just Alexis,
Always.
yeah, not you, Alex.
Best
All right.
kids
You can go
every
get yours.
single time. Every single time. All right, Colin.
Just for that reason, I'm disagreeing with you, and I'm picking Congo.
No.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.